I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is, my needs aren't being met. This phrase, my needs aren't being met, is complete and utter bullshit. In fact, it's worse than bullshit, as not only does it not tell the truth, it replaces the truth with a dangerous lie. Big words, I know, but bear with me as I give you my argument. Now, before I spell out why I dislike this phrase so much, please remember to like this episode and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it's a great way for you too to stand against the bullshit. So, what's the problem with this phrase? So many problem, it turns out. It's absolutely true that people have needs. However, the needs of human beings are surprisingly small. Human beings do not need that much in order to thrive, to be happy, and to have satisfying relationships. One of the things that human beings need is some measure of psychological or emotional safety or security. And when that need isn't met, we call that an abusive relationship. So, why did you and Cynthia break up? Oh, well, my needs weren't really being met. What do you mean? Well, she yelled at me all the time, tracked my movements, and tried to get me fired by spreading lies about me behind my back at my job. Oh. When someone is in an abusive relationship, they don't say, my needs aren't being met. They say, I'm in an abusive relationship. And this means that when people say, my needs aren't being met, they are not in an abusive relationship, because if they were, they would say, I'm in an abusive relationship. An abusive relationship is one in which you don't get what you need. So what are people actually saying when they use this phrase? What they are really saying is, I'm not getting what I want in this relationship. This is so much more honest, and it's a more useful statement for a number of reasons. First of all, if you're going around telling people that your needs aren't being met, it makes your partner or your ex out to be worse than they probably are. Why is that? Because it's one thing to not give somebody what they want, and it's another thing altogether to not give somebody what they need. What a cruel and neglectful ogre. He must not have had a shred of human decency, you poor thing. And what does this do? Well, it gives the person saying this a little patina of victimhood. A patina that they likely would not be entitled to if they were more honest and said, I'm not getting what I want. Leaving a relationship because you are not getting what you need is blameless and courageous. Leaving a relationship because you are not getting what you want is callous and selfish. At least that's what we tend to think as a society. Though, in my own personal estimation, what better reason can you give for leaving a relationship than the fact that you're not getting what you want? That's why you entered into the relationship to begin with, right? You didn't go there to get what you need. You went there to get what you want. So if getting what you want is sufficient reason to start a relationship, not getting what you want should be sufficient reason to end one. Now, reframing this statement, I'm not getting what I want, is much more useful than insisting that I'm not getting what I need for several reasons. There's really only one reason why people don't get what they need. They're in cruel, oppressive, and uncaring environments. However, there are many reasons why a person might not get what they want, one of which is they don't know how to get it. And that wouldn't necessarily be the other person's fault, now would it? Another is that they couldn't afford it. Why complain that a steakhouse is unaffordable to most people? It's a steakhouse. Eat somewhere else if the prices are too high. Do you see? When people go around saying, my needs aren't being met, they're kind of publicly not admitting their role in that outcome. And this means that such people cut themselves off from the possibility of learning why they might not be getting what they want, which reduces the likelihood that they ever will get what they want, either in this relationship or the next. Finally, when people conflate wants for needs, then people's wants become imbued with this kind of existential urgency. Any possibility of not getting what you want then becomes a threat to basic survival, which is what would happen if they don't get what they need. And this is almost certainly a hyperbolic distortion of the actual situation in which they find themselves. Adding this kind of urgent intensity to simple preference can make relationships unstable, exhausting, and manipulative. Not a good idea. In general, it's useful to be honest with others, but it's even more useful to be honest with yourself. And it's actually very empowering to admit, yeah, I'm not getting what I want here. I'm going to go someplace else. It's closer to the truth, and it allows for some degree of responsibility for the creation of that outcome. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for listening.